All right, Paul. Again, John Moeller here doing the breakdown for the fourth sector of COTA. This is again, the breakdown of our session in your McLaren Senna. This is now back to the fastest lap because we've got a good comparison here. And just going to do the breakdown between the back straight and then coming up to turn 15, and including turn 15 at COTA. So kind of jumping into the details here, coming down the back straightaway, frankly, not a heck of a lot of difference here. Again, I short shifted here. I probably, if I hadn't short shifted here, we may see a little bit more gains here. But as you can see, like in the time compare here, it's 4.8 all the way to 4.9. So a tenth of a second down. Sorry, actually, that's a tenth of a second even going up to turn 13. So that's after turn 12. I did want to call out, you were doing a great job with turn 12. The braking looks good. You actually are more aggressive on the brakes than I was, which is good to see in terms of your braking point. You're a little bit later on the brakes there. Really nice work there. So turn 12, honestly, not a lot of criticism there. You're doing very well. And in fact, even your min speed getting through turn 12 was higher than mine. Again, sometimes you may feel like you're getting beaten up on here because it feels like there's only improvements to be made. But turn 12, very nice work here. So hard braking here. You're getting that car turned in. The line was good. I'll go ahead and kind of zoom in on that. Everything that's going on here is looking really good for turn 12. So continue to do what you're doing. There's not a lot of time to be had there. The one place where we do see a massive amount of time in this sector, and this is what I really wanted to call out, is that gap between turn 14 and turn 15. We can see that I make a fair amount of time up there, and then I keep that time coming into the entry to turn 16. So I would just like to see a little bit firmer throttle application, staying on longer through turn 15. Into turn 15, into the entry for turn 15. The other thing that I want to call out as well is taking a look at the pedal position trace here coming through. So your throttle position trace, as we come through turn 13, look at the difference in our throttle traces. So yours is on the green and mine is on the red. And so as you come through that apex for turn 13, if you take a look, I'm carrying a relatively wide arc coming through turn 14, and just kind of allowing that power to lay down. And so what I'm doing here is my throttle application is a lot slower and a lot smoother than yours. And what I'm doing is allowing those front tires to grip and basically just giving them the bite that they need. And then as I start to exit turn 14, that power goes on more firmly. And then coming through here, you can see a little bit of throttle application here. I just stay on it longer than you do as I come through here. So just something to focus on there. One thing I am going to call out, and again, it sometimes feel like everything is criticism, but I actually like your line here better than mine. You should still be able to carry a fair amount of power leading up to this point, same place where I have the power on. I think you can carry some pretty good speed through here and just apply that throttle and then use this section here, like basically kind of where this green area here starts. I want you to start using that sector there as your braking area and carrying the brakes for a long time into turn 15. But I do like how you're opening up this a little bit more than I did. I don't think that what I took here is really the ideal line. I think I'd continue to do what you're doing here with just making a slow sweep out to the right. And if you remember, we were kind of focusing on the green out here as that was your target point in order to move the car to. So definitely just continue that, keep using that green section here as your target so that it's nice and wide coming through here. and then continue to apply that throttle, even potentially up to where this white restarts in this red section here, right? So kind of using from here all the way down to the apex of turn 15 as your braking zone. But again, nice line into there. All I want to see is see you carry a little bit more speed through there. We can see that I was able to get the car up to 84, 85 miles an hour as I came into turn 15. But then driving the car down to the apex very well, and then smooth throttle application. One thing I would like to see here, and we'll be talking about this in the next sector as well, is I'd love to see you get more throttle application too as you're coming down that straightaway from turn 15 into the entry to the carousel, which is turn 16. So we'll cover that in the next sector, and that'll be the final sector for this. So